again, darlings. There are so many things for me to remember that I need to do whenever I'm running this all at once. And one of these days, I might actually become good at it. Welcome to Here Comes the News. I'm your host, Mika. Stevie, our other correspondent, was unable to be here tonight. Something about needing to pick up a new multi-pack of latex gloves. Not my business. Not my problem. Anyway, we're going to jump right into the headlines that we didn't have time to jump into during the podcast itself because there's just so much. And the thing is, I'm going to do another one of these in only a few days, and I'm certain I'm going to have even more to talk about then. So, let's get right to it. Of course, the biggest headline that we are going to be talking about was the brutal murder of Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse in Minneapolis. He was beaten, pistol whipped, and then shot by ICE agents. There are videos of it from multiple angles. They are not something that I can show you here because Twitch, shockingly, isn't a fan of snuff film. Because that is kind of what it is. But anyway, this headline is from the BBC. Who was Alex Pretti, the intensive care nurse shot dead in Minneapolis? He has been described as an avid outdoorsman who loved mountain biking and is understood to have joined protests after Renee Good, also 37, was shot dead by an ICE agent in her car earlier this month. He literally just went out. He felt like he had to do something and had to be there. He felt like he had to help. And for his trouble, the fascists killed him. The Department of Homeland Security the Department of Homeland Security said that the agent fired in self-defense, which, again, if you've seen the actual videos, you know that's not the case. They claim that he had resisted attempts to disarm him. If you watch the videos, you will see them disarm him pretty quickly and then pistol whip him with his own weapon. A gun that he had a license to conceal carry. Pretti worked as an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis Veterans Affairs Hospital. His family said in a statement. They told the Associated Press that he was upset by U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration in the city. Pretti's mother also said her son cared immensely about the Trump administration's rollback of environmental regulations. He hated that, People were just trashing the land, Susan Pretti told the AP. She added, he was an outdoorsman. He took his dog everywhere he went. He loved this country, but he hated what people were doing to it. According to his family, he previously had no interactions with law enforcement other than a few traffic tickets. And honestly, who among us hasn't had a few traffic tickets? I've had my fair share. Pretti's parents, who live in Wisconsin, said they recently told their son to be careful while protesting. We had this discussion with him 2 weeks ago. That go ahead and protest, but don't engage. Don't do anything stupid, basically. His father, Michael Pretti, told the AP. Apparently, he said he knows that. He knew that. Now that we've set the tone on the brutality of what ICE has been doing, let's move on to our next headline. This is from the Minnesota Star Tribune. Preschooler and 3 other students detained by ICE, school district leaders say. The detention of Columbia Heights students come after weeks of heightened concern and enforcement presence near and on Twin Cities school property. A 5-year-old student was taken with his father by federal immigration agents shortly after arriving home from school. This happened on January 21st, the first time a Twin Cities school district has publicly confirmed a student being detained by ICE since Operation Metro Surge, the name the fascists are using for their brutality in the area, began. His detention, school leaders say, marked the 4th time a student from district had been detained by federal agents in recent weeks. According to the National Immigration Law Center, ICE's policy is that arresting officers should allow a parent to make arrangements for their child's care. It's unclear if they did that in this situation. I don't have a headline for it because no one is talking about it. But I've seen several posts from people in the area in St. Paul and Minneapolis in the Twin Cities who have been doing ICE watch and patrolling around trying to keep up with what's going on so they can film it. And many of them are reporting that they are finding abandoned vehicles, some of them still running everywhere. And in a few cases, they have found children in the back seat, left after their parents were taken. I've also seen many of them saying that they are finding people that had been took by ICE, beaten, and then abandoned in the woods, sometimes without clothing. A lot of folks talk about how this is very much like what the Nazis did. Well, sure. Absolutely. This is quite similar to what the Nazis did. And where did the Nazis get the idea? From the United States. From how we enacted slavery. How we treated minorities in the Jim Crow South. This action of leaving people beaten and abandoned in the woods in winter is something that the U.S. government has been doing to indigenous people here for centuries. It's nothing new. It is kind of par for the course. Moving on to the laundry list of things that ICE is doing. This is from stateline.org. ICE is using Medicaid data to find out where immigrants live. States fear immigrants will shy away from seeking health care. And this particular news anchor would like to add in a bit of an editorial. That's probably the idea. This is about brutality. This is about weak, tiny little cowardly men and women. After all, let's not forget, ICE has also been putting a lot of women agents out into the field to show that, hey, we're inclusive. We think concentration camps need lady guards too. But anyway, in a win for President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, a recent court ruling has cleared the way for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to resume using states' Medicaid data to find people who are in the country illegally. The case is ongoing, but for now, immigrants, including those who are in the country legally, will have to weigh the pros and cons of gaining health coverage against, the risk that doing so could make them a target. I'm noticing in chat, the Rat King has just put, as someone in New Mexico, they were teaching me about the schools, in quotes, they put Native Americans in only a few decades ago. But my brother, who's in middle school, which is when I was taught that, isn't being taught about it anymore. It's interesting. I agree, it is. The Rat King had also mentioned that he thought ICE doesn't like DEI. And you know what? That just isn't the case. Fascists love DEI. They love having various demographics that have historically faced various forms of oppression publicly and visibly do their dirty work so that they can claim with a thin little veil that no, this isn't about bigotry. We certainly aren't discriminating. How dare you suggest that we, a gang of violent fascists, would ever do such a thing as profiling? Why, look at our agents. Speaking of things related to medical care that ICE is doing, ICE has apparently stopped paying for detainee medical treatment. This is according to popular.info. ICE halted payments in October, and the situation will persist for at least several more months. During the second Trump administration, the population of migrants held at U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facilities has exploded from below 40,000 in January of 2025 to 73,000 today. Under the law, ICE is required to provide necessary medical care for the prisoner population. While ICE employs some of its own medical staff, they typically use third-party providers. ICE's Buffalo Federal Detention Facility, for example, houses over 500 detainees and has no doctor or dentist on staff. However, ICE stopped paying third-party providers on October 3rd, 2025. I want to pause real fast. ICE has been given record amounts of money, billions and billions of dollars. The amount of money that they are given by both the Democrats and the Republicans has exploded exponentially, and yet they don't seem to have the budget for medical care. Seems odd. So, moving on from all of the horse fuckery that ICE is doing, which again, just wait, I'm sure they're going to do more. I want to talk about the responses to Alex Pretti being shot and killed by ICE agents. Actually, you know what? I should, in the interest of accuracy, Alex Pretti being beaten, pistol whipped, and shot multiple times in the back while he was on the ground by ICE agents. There's been various responses all over the internet, and a lot of people are unsurprisingly perturbed. But at the same time, there are some who think everything is hunky-dory, A-OK, and more than willing to talk about how Pretti was violent, a threat, someone who got what he deserved. The NRA social media account is a prime example of this, and I will not repeat the rancid shit that they said, but for the sake of providing all the necessary information and a bit of background, this is from RollingStone.com. The new NRA chief, the head of the National Rifle Association, once tortured a cat to death. Doug Hamlin pleaded no contest to brutally murdering a pet cat with his fraternity brothers as a student at the University of Michigan. The article goes on to talk about this in detail, but you know what? I think I've kind of made my point that the most rancid, worst people you know are defending the actions of fascists and going out of their way to try and justify it. Which I'm not a fan, to say the least. Speaking of other public figures that have said things that were at best lackluster, and also the Rat King in chat just put, what's the first sign of a serial killer again? Yeah, the animal cruelty and whatnot. It's part of the Dark Triangle. It's so nice to know that someone in a position of relative authority matches those descriptions. Anyway, back to my point. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Speaking of lackluster responses to the shooting, while I was scrolling through my social media, I saw somebody speak up I haven't seen in, honestly, a long time. Someone who has been silent about all of the violence ICE has been doing. Someone who hasn't felt the need to weigh in on the violent fascists becoming more and more emboldened and committing more atrocities on our streets, in our schools, in our homes. But you know what? He finally decided to pop out, and ex-president Barack Hussein Obama decided to weigh in. I'm not going to read his statement. It was pretty long, and would you believe it? It said a whole lot of nothing, but I do want to point out that the fella in the picture here, that President Barack Hussein Obama is giving a medal to, is Tom Homan, who is presently the border czar under Donald Trump. And the reason President Obama, seen here, is smiling while putting a medal on what can only be described as an anthropomorphic thumb is because Tom Homan was just so dang good at deporting people. And that's something that President Obama approved. It's worth mentioning that separating children from their families, that practice that Border Patrol and ICE and DHS at large has been doing, started under President Obama. He's not someone I'm particularly a fan of. And I really hate to play into the stereotype, but if I'm going to step out of character here for a bit, he kind of fulfills in a lot of behaviors that a lot of people online, not necessarily me, I personally would never, but a lot of people think is indicative of baby boomers. So because I personally myself would never have an opinion on that, I thought I would call in our other correspondent, Mephisto. Mephisto, tell us, what do you think of baby boomers?
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about
A generation that should truly be called the greatest. What generation is that, you ask?
why, it's the baby boomers.
Truly the greatest generation America has ever seen.
How great are the baby boomers?
Just so? Why, you managed to take an economy that worked great for the middle class.
And completely gut it.
Who needs affordable college? You got yours, didn't you?
So let's yank up that rope ladder.
While we're at it,
Let's go ahead and elect a whole bunch of politicians that promise to slash taxes.
oh, but wait, the taxes they slashed only affected the upper class.
But I'm sure it's fine.
You'll be a millionaire any day now.
I'm sure of it.
but you jacked the system a little bit faster than you expected,
And now you had to borrow a whole bunch of money.
And get an extra mortgage on your house. And eat into your retirement savings.
But it's okay.
Because it's your money. 'Cause you earned it, didn't you guys?
You worked so hard for that money.
You were just born into the greatest post-war economy that the world has ever seen.
You worked extremely hard for that.
You elected even more politicians who slashed even more of the social safety net.
You didn't need it. You already had yours, didn't you?
You already had a house.
And a jet ski! And a boat!
You had everything that you could ever possibly need. Why would you leave it in place for anyone else?
Thank you again for your unique perspective, as always, Mephisto. If you haven't seen the show before, he's shown up before. And who knows? He might show up again. Moving on to our next headline. I thought I would try, for once, to talk about something a little bit less depressing than the rampaging fascists who are currently doing their best to fuck everything up. This is from the HoustonChronicle.com. A louder Christian right, but not a revival. What Trump's second term is changing with religion. Apparently, over the past few years, the number of people who say that they are religious and say they go to church is dropping precipitously. In November, Gallup reported a 17% drop in the percentage of U.S. adults who consider religion an important part of their lives. It went from 66% in 2015 down to 49% today. It is the largest drop, or one of them anyway, that has been recorded in any country over any 10-year period since 2007. So this rhetoric we've been hearing about how, oh, there's a revival and everybody's just getting so much more into being Christian or whatever, and they approve of all the things that the president does, because the president, obviously, the fellow who has been incredibly accused of things with his good friend Jeffrey Epstein, whom he has said he didn't actually know personally, despite appearing in countless pictures with him, smiling, shaking hands, and trading lovely anecdotes, I'm sure, about their favorite island destinations. But anyway, that president is surely ordained by God, so all the Christians should support him. But it looks like there are fewer people willing to say that they're religious because they don't like how he's made their religion and people who are loud adherents to it look. And they're probably sick of people who claim the belief system they once claimed, tainting it. Speaking of people kind of annoyed that our big wet boy in the White House, Donald John Trump, is tainting things. This is from the AP News. German Soccer Federation official wants the World Cup to boycott the US because of Donald Trump. That's right. years of U.S. brutality in fucking over protesters, fucking over various vulnerable minorities, fucking over the rights of anybody with melanin, fucking over anybody who's queer, fucking over indigenous people, fucking over hundreds of other countries, causing coups, fucking up their governments, funding right-wing death squads. None of that was enough for the FIFA officials to say maybe the US should not host this fucking game. But then that dang Donald Trump showed up. And gosh golly gee, don't you know it? He is a bridge too far. Oak Gottlieb, I'm probably mispronouncing the name, I apologize to any of our German listeners and viewers. The president of Bundesliga club in St. Pauli and one of the German Federation's 10 vice presidents told the Hamburger Morgenpost newspaper in an interview on Friday that, quote, the time has come to, quote, seriously consider and discuss this. Again. All that other stuff from before, I sleep. Suddenly, the fascist in power is a bit uncouth. And dear gods, it's real shit. It's go time. Anyway, moving on before my blood pressure spikes. This is from erinthemorning.com. If you don't know who she is an incredible trans journalist. Go check her stuff out. Go support her. She does good work. The Democrats have successfully stripped all anti-trans riders from the final appropriations bills, which is great news. I'm not gonna couch that in anything. It is good news. I am glad that they were able to do that, to work that out. However, it's a bit, okay, this is live, so I have to really watch what I say. It's very, the knife got stabbed in 6 inches. The Democrats just now managed to pull it out 2. And a lot of them on social media have been talking about this and making a big deal about how trans people everywhere should be grateful because they managed to mitigate a bit of the damage that they themselves have, if not tacitly allowed, sometimes actively enabled. So, mixed feelings on it. But, shout out to Representative Sarah McBride. It's rare that I do this. I do actually applaud her because she worked closely with her colleagues to defend the rights of all her constituents, including LGBTQ people across Delaware, according to one of her staffers in the interview with Aaron in the Morning. In the face of efforts by the Trump administration and Republicans in Congress to roll back healthcare and civil rights, she was proud to work relentlessly with her colleagues in ensuring these funding bills did not include anti-LGBTQ provisions. The staffer went on, "It takes strong allies in leadership and on committees to to rein in the worst excesses of this Republican trifecta. Representative McBride remains grateful to ranking members DeLauro, Murray, and Democratic leadership for prioritizing removal of these harmful riders. And again, thank you. I do honestly appreciate it. After all, on the grand scheme of things, and based on your track record and my comments on it before, since you took office, it's the least you could do. Moving on, I thought I'd finish up with one final headline. It ain't politics. It is technology. This is from the irishtimes.com. Big shout out to the Irish Times. I'm also a big fan of their work. AI boom could falter without wider adoption, Microsoft chief Satya Nadella warns. Big tech boss tells delegates at Davos that broader global usage is essential if the technology is to deliver lasting growth. You know, the technology that costs exponentially more money each time they develop a new version. The technology that has yet to actually return a profit. The technology that, in the case of ChatGPT, CEO Sam Altman has said they do not currently have a plan for how to make money with it. In fact, they're hoping they make a version that's smart enough to tell them how to make it profitable. But you know, it's not a bubble. Microsoft chief executive Satya Nadella warned that artificial intelligence, AI, it's not artificial intelligence, it's large language models. It's not actually intelligent. It is at best, you've all heard me say this before, it is at best autocomplete, and not a very good one, because not only is it not good at figuring out what to say next or what you want, it wastes tons of water. To put it in perspective, Lake Ocoee, the giant lake in South Florida that is visible from space. If Florida was to be the head of a snake, Lake Ocoee would be its eye. At the current rate of water usage by AI data centers, if they pulled all of their water that they needed from Lake Ocoee, a lake which has, I believe, somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 400 billion gallons, it would be drained in roughly 6.5 months. Bone dry. A lake that's visible from space. In case you were curious about my stance, personally, I fucking despise AI. But anyway, Mr. Nadella on Tuesday said, hey, we're fucked if more people don't adopt this. I mean, sure, we've already crammed AI into all the search engines, even DuckDuckGo. Hey, fuck you, DuckDuckGo. You were my last hope, and now you started putting AI in shit. I'm not thrilled. We've already crammed it into, all the Microsoft Copilot stuff. We've already shoved it into various software and programs, and we're forcing you to do it. We've put it on your phone, and yet, despite it being virtually ubiquitous and being put in just about everything, it's still not enough. this is not to be a bubble by definition. It requires that the benefits of this are much more evenly spread, said Mr. Nadella. He noted that a telltale sign of if it's a bubble would be if only tech groups were benefiting from the rise of AI, rather than companies in other sectors. Interesting, fun little fact. According to a study that was released a couple months ago, 98% of business ventures with AI are not profitable, and in fact cost the companies that implement them far more money than they're able to make. In a survey that was released about a week and a half ago, it was a Pew poll, I believe. A whopping 87% of respondents who are adults in the US said that if a company implements AI in a product, they stop trusting the company and do whatever they can to no longer use the product. Call me just a silly little gal, but that doesn't sound like it's benefiting companies. In fact, it seems the only people making money off of this are the tech companies that shill AI. However, Mr. Nadella has said he is confident that AI would prove to be transformative across industries. You know, it's going to help do things like, you know, maybe develop new drugs? Perhaps? I'm much more confident that as this technology that will, in fact, build on the rails of cloud and mobile, diffuse faster, bend the productivity curve, and bring back local surplus and economic growth all over the world, he said. Which, translation, for those of you who may have been a little confused by the word salad he just spewed. Hi, I'm the chief executive of Microsoft, and I'm full of bullshit. His comments came as part of a talk with the chief of BlackRock, Larry Fink. You know, BlackRock, the company that everybody should just love and trust. A growing body of data from tech companies, including Microsoft, has shown a global divide in AI adoption rates, pointing to productivity benefits and work applications being concentrated in richer developed countries. Mr. Nadella has reiterated his view that the future of AI adoption would not rely on a single dominant model provider, which has driven the tech giant's decision to work with several AI groups, such as Anthropic, xAI being the thing that Elon Musk runs, that has, you know, Grok, also known as Mecha Hitler, something Grok itself has called itself, and also OpenAI. Oh, fun little tidbit about Grok. Well, not fun necessarily, but a tidbit. Apparently, on X, they've had to disable the media tab on Grok's profile because they realized a good 60% of the images Grok was generating were child sex abuse material. That's really showing how great Grok is, how healthy AI is for discourse. But anyway, I feel myself running out of steam. My energy drink could only do so much, but it has been absolutely lovely to present the news for you. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up in the chat. It has been a pleasure to have you here. I'd like to thank all of our listeners for listening to the audio-only version of this, and all of our viewers. If you would like to see this stream, pop on over to Twitch, twitch.tv/The Gender Swap Podcast. Follow us. You'll get notifications every time we stream. We stream the normal podcast episodes, the Gender Swap Podcast, every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. We generally stream Here Comes the News at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays, but, you know, little schedule fuckery, so I'm doing it today, and we'll also try to do it in a few days later this week. Sign up for our Patreon if you get the chance. You can listen to bonus episodes of the Gender Swap Podcast there. We've got a channel on YouTube. Subscribe to that so you can view the archive of all of the Gender Swap episode streams, as well as the archives of these streams. I think that covers everything. So, as always, everything that I have said is available to be verified online from various sources. And as with all the information I choose to bring, do with that information what you will. Bye.